Pizza cannon loaded and ready to throw.
Everybody put your hands in the air and say, holy shit! Welcome in, everybody. I am Commander Krim. Glad to have you here on this Tuesday evening. Normally, I don't wear the headphones anymore, and lately I'm back and putting them on today. I kind of remember why. It's just so much easier not to have them on. But it's easier for my teammates to hear me whenever I'm playing with somebody, which I will be doing today. We are going to play some Quake 2. Quake 2 Remaster came out last week. I think it was last week or like really recently. And got my hands on it, and we're going to play that tonight. But first, we're going to be playing with our friend Josh, a.k.a. Gerald the Pizza Thrower. Hopefully, Bimo Kimono will join us as well. But before we do all that, the Destiny 2, Bungie had released a showcase, or did a live stream today, of the Destiny 2 showcase, which is revealed. Okay. Which was revealed today, and we're gonna take a look at it. I don't know. I mean, I have an idea what they're gonna show in this expo or this showcase, but I didn't watch this in advance, so I don't know all of what's coming. So this is gonna be a surprise to everybody. This is a 3.5 hour video. I don't know for sure that I'm gonna watch the whole thing. Because I would like to get to playing Quake tonight, but maybe I'll like skip through it and stuff, see if I can just get to the interesting parts. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into that. I gotta get it pulled up to here. Give me a sec. And ha-boop-a-doop-a-doop. There we go. All right. Good afternoon, Jody. How you doing? How's your Tuesday? Cat hair. Let's skip ahead here to the past the. don't know why there's no audio here. That's kind of weird. Oh, there it is. Okay, there is audio. It just wasn't on there. Okay. Basically, this it looks like this 45 minutes here is just a countdown of the events leading up to sort of like the story so far. Okay, looks like right about here should be a good place to start. Yeah, this is like a look back at everything that's happened so far. In memoriam. Yep, this is going to be for Lance. Obviously. Big sad. Big sad.
난 어둠 속에서 태어난 끔찍한 것들을 봤어. 매 순간 그 미래가 다가와.
Oh my gosh, where are we?
The hell was the language?
여기서 시작된 건 내 미래가 아니야. 너의 미래지.
I don't know what that was all about. I don't know what that language was. Alright, let's just get ahead to the... and pass all this, get to it. Yeah, this is great seeing all the other people reacting to it. Yay, it's awesome. Congratulations, let's go. Alright, here we go. Obviously, the final shape's going to be revealed here.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Like many of you, I've been playing games as long as I can remember. They're a core part of what makes me who I am. I believe there's this deeply rooted, often unstated mission of games to keep adventure alive. In 2014, Bungie set out to start a new adventure. Heroes awakened on a desolate planet. A silent god set in our sky. And it wouldn't be long before an ancient enemy, shrouded in darkness, showed up at humanity's door to destroy us. Over the years, our heroes would shape a story far greater than anything we could have imagined. Players would explore
this nerd. You don't gotta call me names, Jody.
Hunting a machine god.
I know you were talking about him. It's okay, I get it.
They'd invent ways to combine their mythic weaponry and their paracausal abilities to stand alone against monsters that took others an entire elite squad. They'd race alongside their friends far into the early morning into halls of an ancient city where only a select few emerged victorious at dawn, clutching the heart of a dragon.
I'm talking about the Ahamkara.
They'd bring their friends and their family into this world, and together meet new faces on this adventure who would become lifelong companions. Now, together, we approach the final shape. We're about to embark on the last expedition of Destiny's first saga. So let's be clear about the stakes. In the final shape,
Destiny's first saga.
Go inside the Traveler. The journey will be difficult, and what awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced.
1795?
There will be
Nice.
no open betas. There aren't going to be any guides on the internet telling you how to handle what's to come. Whether you've been with us from the beginning, joined us somewhere along the road, or are looking at Destiny for the first time, anybody who shows up on launch day is going to be greeted with this same uncharted world. A vacuum-sealed experience begging for you to be the
Do you
first
get into the
person
raids?
to peel it open.
That's up to you,
Today
Jody. I mean,
is your invitation.
me personally, raids are, while they're challenging, I don't really care to do them. It's just a little. I guess even though I love Destiny, I think I'm too casual of a player to really enjoy raids. I did. I played all of the raids in Destiny 1, but I never finished like the last raid of Destiny 1, and I only have ever done 2 of the raids in Destiny 2. One of them was what was the name of it? The Crown of Sorrows. I did that all the way through. And I did the Vault of Glass, the Destiny 2 version, all the way up into the final part, but some things went down among the teammates that I was with, and part of it was my fault, but there's some things that went down with the teammates that was playing with me at the time, and we never finished the raid and never went back to it. To me, raids just require too much time invested, and it requires so much precise teamwork that one mistake by one person can cause the entire team to wipe. And I don't really care for that. I don't really care for that. It's mostly the time investment that it takes. Yeah, good teams can probably finish most raids in about an hour, but sometimes, especially if you're trying to train somebody, teach somebody new the raid, it's going to take 2, 3, sometimes even 4 hours to get through an entire raid. Sometimes even get through one part, and I just don't want to take that much time invested in one specific activity, especially if that's only a specific part of that activity that we can't get past. You know, like a certain boss that we just can't seem to get past. It's just I don't care for that. But again, I know, like you said right there, Jody. That's not just because that's my opinion. That's my preference. That doesn't mean everybody isn't like that. You know. That's why raids are there, obviously. If everybody felt the way I did about raids, they wouldn't exist, obviously. But people love that challenge. People love the teamwork that those things require. It's a good community building thing, because most times the best teams are probably ones that have been playing together for a while in some form or another. So I don't begrudge those people the enjoyment they get out of raids. When I did do raids before, I did kind of enjoy them. I made an entire YouTube video about a raid that I did in Destiny 1 with a bunch of people I never really knew before, and it was the video and the camaraderie that I gained with those with 4 out of the 6 people from that squad was absolutely great. It was awesome. So, but it's just not for me. The time still invested to do those raids, I just don't feel like investing. Could be my age. Maybe I'm getting up in the years, like the ripe old age of 38. Right? I just don't really feel like taking the time to do that. Other people do, and by all means, go for it. Go for it. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And Jody, you would enjoy the raids if you like those type of challenges. In fact, if you don't want, there's raid type challenges that don't require you to have a group of 6 people. There are what they call dungeons, which are basically mini raids, if you will. They have raid type mechanics. They require the same type of crackerjack teamwork and timing. And the difference is you only have to deal with a 3-person party instead of 6. So it is slightly easier than a raid because their mechanics are programmed around a 3-person party. So they really increased the number of raid type activities in Destiny 2 when they included all the dungeons. And sometimes, at least from my opinion and what I've seen, the dungeon rewards are actually better than the raid rewards. But that's just my opinion from what I've seen of them. I can't say from experience. I've only finished 1 dungeon ever. And I don't remember if I ever actually finished it. I know I got a lot of ways through it, but I don't think I ever finished it. But yeah, and I know the raids and dungeons are the what they call the pinnacle activities. They give you the best rewards, and that's fine. I totally understand that. But just for me, I guess call me an underachiever. I'm satisfied with strikes and occasionally Crucible, occasionally Gambit. I'm fine with the rewards I get from strikes. I'm fine with it. That's just me. And, to me, strikes are far more fun. Strikes and what they included with the PSYOP, the Battleground stuff, it's far more fun than any raid. But again, that's just my opinion. You should definitely play it, Jody. You definitely should try to play it. If you've got friends that play Destiny, you should get them together, and I know you would have a blast with those raids. I was World of Warcraft raider for over a decade. I can't speak for World of Warcraft because I've never played it, but from what I am aware of, the concept of Destiny's raids are very much like World of Warcraft raids. In fact, I'm pretty sure that when they were developing Destiny, they used World of Warcraft's raids as a template or an idea for their own raids. So if you enjoyed those WoW raids, you probably would enjoy the Destiny 1 and 2 raids very, very well, especially if you like the rewards. Hey Darth, welcome in. And yeah, very time consuming. That's what raids are known for. All right, let's get back to the showcase. You played WoW? I never did.
After all these years, we never talked about it. Why I brought you back.
That is a very good point. That's something I've talked about before. I'm hoping at some point during either the final shape or one of the seasons that comes after it, I am really, really hoping that at some point they discuss or talk about or reveal what the Guardian did before you were revived at the beginning of Destiny 1. I really hope they do. Because if you think about the other Guardians that we know from Destiny that have been normal people or whatever their lives were, killed and then brought back as a Guardian. Think of Crow, for instance, aka Uldren Sov. Uldren Sov was not a Guardian himself. He was just a regular guy. Granted, probably a very proficient fighter because he was the brother to Mara Sov, but he was killed during the events of Shadowkeep. I'm sorry, of Forsaken, not Shadowkeep. He was killed during the events of Forsaken. And later, in the seasons later, he was resurrected and brought back by a ghost, and he is now a Guardian, just like we are. So, and when he was revived, he had lost all of his memory about what he was before he was a Guardian, just like we were as the Guardians. When we woke up, we had no knowledge, no history, no nothing of our past. So I'm actually hoping that at some point they reveal what the Guardian did before being revived by the ghost in the very first Destiny.
Why you were chosen.
That's the Vault of Glass.
The truth is, I didn't know then.
That's the Galahorn.
It was just a feeling. But I know now. After all we've seen,
That's Cade.
all we've lost, this fight might be our last. So I'm asking you one last time to rise.
Well, we got a release date, February 27th. Played a lot of WoW. It was my second favorite MMO, especially after City of Heroes got nuked by NCSoft. But it went down into the stupidity and left because of it. And the end of Wrath of Lich King. Same thing happened later with my third favorite, Star Wars: The Old Republic. I don't have a problem with the Old Republic. I don't have a problem with the Old Republic. I mean, of course, I haven't played very much of Old Republic. I really haven't. Last time I touched it, I played a bounty hunter, and I think I just barely got started doing stuff on Droman Kos, which is the second world you go to. So obviously, I haven't experienced very much of the story or very much of the world of Old Republic at all, but I do enjoy. Excuse me, I do enjoy it. And before we go in too much further, I want to point something out here. That right here is revealing a new weapon for the Void subclass for Titan. This is a Titan using a Void subclass and some kind of Void axe. So it looks like, at least from this, just from this shot alone, we're going to be getting some more new supers to our subclasses. The Void Titan now has an axe, so likely we're going to get a third super option to our subclasses. So that's going to be good. That's going to be good. Well, probably to at least the light classes, considering we have Stasis and Strand. We have Stasis and Strand, which are new. They probably won't get anything new, but the light classes most likely will. Or this axe here is going to be the third darkness subclass, which I'm pretty sure they're going to do something like that. They're either going to add a third super to each subclass, or they're adding a third dark subclass. Now, this looks more like a light ability, and again, it's purple, so it kind of reminds me of Void. So it very well could be Void, but it also could be a third dark subclass. Cataclysm is all about shredding established lore to pieces to bring in youth who never knew the franchise before. I see Destiny's kind of like that as well, Jody. Once you beat the story, pretty much the rest of it is just grinding the game because you enjoy playing the shooter, you enjoy the mechanics, whatever.
This is a momentous time in Destiny history. We've been building to this moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey. This is a moment in gaming that as a developer you just don't get very often.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat that the universe has ever seen in this big culmination of the Light and Darkness saga.
She's kind of cute.
When we were thinking of what the final shape could be, it had to be a lot of different things. It needs to pay off this epic confrontation with the Witness that we've been setting up for years. It has to bring you closer to your allies in the Vanguard. It has to be this place that makes you feel nostalgic for the entire journey you've been on.
When we were resurrected by ghosts at the very beginning of this story, we didn't know why, but it was for this. The Traveler is asking us for help, and it's our responsibility to protect every living thing in the universe from what the Witness intends to do.
When we first start the final shape, we are finally able to go through the portal that the Witness opened in the Traveler at the end of Lightfall.
Inside is the Pale Heart of the Traveler. That is the stage for our showdown with the Witness.
The Witness has the darkness. It has always had a connection to it. The Pale Heart of the Traveler is what it's trying to use to gain connection to the light. So with both, it can enact its final shape.
The Witness looks around and sees a lack of purpose, no meaning. It wants to fix all that. So it's trying to put the universe into this frozen perfection where everything's just exactly how it thinks it's supposed to be. That is the final shape.
If we're going to defeat the Witness, it's going to take everyone. Failure is not an option.
We're going to need the Vanguard, all of our allies, and all the Guardians to rally together and be brave in the face of Oblivion.
In the final shape, we're going to answer questions at the grandest scale. But what I find really interesting is that it's also a very personal journey where we deepen our relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala, Ikora, our Ghost, get to reconnect with Cade 6. So, while there's this great,
I wonder who's voicing Cade 6 for Final Shape. Are they bring back Nathan Fillion, or are they going to have Nolan North voice him like he did for
by a bunch of companions
Forsaken?
who have been fighting together for hundreds of years.
That's the tower.
In the final shape, we're going through the portal that the witness has opened up to confront it and stop the final shape. Inside the Traveler is this infinite, vast, unknowable, and we're landing on the Pale Heart, which is a fraction of really what is inside the Traveler.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Back up. Back up. That is the tower. Yeah, this is the original tower from Destiny 1. This is where Eververse was. The vaults were over here. It looks like maybe they've been swallowed up by the trees and stuff. But I'm pretty sure this is the tower. The first tower, overgrown. The bald lady reminded me of a war priest Diablo 4. I don't even know who that is. I know who the bald lady is talking about. That's Ikora. We deal with her for 10 years now.
And stop the final shape. Inside the Traveler is this infinite.
Yeah, that's the.
Vast, unknowable. And we're landing on.
Yeah, I was trying to back it up. Yeah, this is the speaker's area. This is where the speaker was. He used to stand up here at the top of these stairs. We're going to be revisiting the tower, but why would it be covered in grass?
Infinite, vast, unknowable, and we're landing on the Pale Heart, which is a fraction of really what is inside the Traveler.
The Pale Heart is weird. It's a little strange, it makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, and it is also just so cool and artistic in the best way.
Well, that looks disorienting as fuck.
The Witness entered well ahead of any Guardians, and so it's had time to kind of shape what's there.
Haha, shape what's there. Nice pun.
The rest of the Pale Heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
This is the Traveler recreating the world in front of you as it saw on your journey.
Oh, okay. That explains why we saw the tower.
One of the most memorable blood colors from Destiny's past is the D1 tower. It's really a labor of love from the Destiny team. The final shape means so much to everyone who's building it, and I think players are really going to be able to see that.
The Pale Heart is our very first linear destination that we've ever done. I would love it if players felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in danger, in surrealness, because there is this beautiful evolution of the space.
They see things that are more and more wrong as they begin to go towards the Witness's monolith. It's kind of this omnipresent, foreboding thing off in the distance.
The weirdest things happen as you get closer to the monolith in the form of reshaping. Kind of like deconstructing things and putting them back together just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there, like as you're exploring these
It's
spaces,
inside of a pyramid.
on these reshaped cuboids of Earth, you feel tiny as a Guardian. You feel alone. You feel like you are not the force to be reckoned with that you have been. You're not the God Slayer right now. You're just this little person jumping from these massive pieces to massive pieces.
One of the things that we really tried to also capture is that the Witness keeps throwing everything it has at you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the Subjugators.
Subjugators are the new unit you're going to be facing in the final shape.
So they're just small
They
tormentors.
have an enhanced power set.
And of course they have Strand.
They're performing stasis powers and strand powers to face the Guardian, well, in support of all the other enemies you're fighting too.
Yeah, very creepy imagery.
Entirely new to the battlefield, which is kind of this element of control
They're back there pinging away with stasis abilities, throwing crystals at you, freezing you in place, tangling you up.
That's going to be a bitch.
On the campaign, and only the campaign. It's the most important thing in the universe at that moment. You have to stop the final shape from happening.
And for that, we do need the help with our allies. And so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard team gets back together. Zavala and Ikora and Cade.
The campaign is just the start of the Pale Heart. After you've reached
all of these like statue or like whatever they're supposed to be of people coming out of the wall is just.
The entire Pale Heart is going to react to you and what you are doing.
The campaign in the final shape doesn't really end with the final mission. The raids are where you defeat like the big bosses. So it's only natural that when you are going to confront the witness, you're going to do that in the raid. But that might not be enough. This is a moment where we need to rally all Guardians to be able to overcome the final shape and the witness.
So basically what they're saying in shorthand is we're kind of going back to the Taken King, in the fact that in Taken King you defeated Oryx, who was the big bad villain boss guy of Destiny 1's first expansion, but you don't really beat him. You beat him, but you don't kill him. He escapes to another part of his ship, and that's where you do the King's Fall raid, and that's where you actually kill him. So basically that's what we're doing here for the final shape. I assume we're going to be defeating the witness, or maybe some kind of like second officer, first officer, second in command, if you will, to the witness, and then you defeat the witness in the raid.
In the final shape, we are inside the Traveler, very close to this energy. This allows us to have new supers, Arc, Solar, Void.
We want to create something that turns you into an offensive powerhouse, but also can benefit your allies in a support capacity. There is this thread of team play and like working with your friends to overcome the odds.
There's the Void Axe.
Is this ultimate expression of solar energy coursing through your guardian. This solar.
Wait a minute, back up.
Expression. The Warlock Super is this ultimate expression of solar energy coursing through your guardian.
That's the Sunbreaker. That's the Sunsinger. It's the exact same animation. They're bringing back the Sunsinger from Destiny 1. The solar subclass for the Warlock. What that was before, this kind of a weird pause point right there. He's like, Urgh. The Destiny 1 Warlock Solar wasn't really an attack super. It was a basic. There's no basically to it. It's simplified. Is a. I can't find the words. I'm too excited to talk about it. Simplified. It was a buff, a massive buff. While your super was in use and while it was draining, your melee and grenade abilities were massively sped up. Your recharges were almost instant. So you could spam grenades and spam your melee very rapidly while your super was charged. Also, one of the biggest things that the Sunsinger could do was self-revive. If you had the correct node selected and your super was charged when you died, you could res yourself with your own super. Only the Solar Warlock could do that.
This Solar Warlock Super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right now. Your melee's like all of these projectiles going off, doubling the amount of projectiles. Your grenade almost being sentient as it searches around, and then it hits a character and bounces off and goes to another one. And you're so overflowing with this energy that you are also giving it to your allies, allowing them to have their solar weapons supercharged, applying Scorch when they're shooting.
the new Solar Warlock aspect, when I cast my Rift, it is going to create this little solar soul that when it sees an enemy, it launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches them.
It just feels very alive.
All right.
Twilight Arsenal. It's a layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air, summons this giant void axe, throws it, summons another one, throws it, summons another one, looks at a different group of enemies, throws it. And when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground, or an enemy do their void gravity thing where they suck a bunch of energy and enemies in and then explode. But that doesn't destroy the axe. The axe sticks around, and you and your allies can go and pick up that axe and start wailing on enemies with it.
This super is insane.
Okay, so simply, it is a Void Titan version of the Hunter's Arc Staff super, because that's basically what the Arc Staff super is for the Hunter. Is they jump in the air and then they throw their spear, and then it turns into just basically a giant arc grenade. The difference being you can do it 3 times, it looks like at least 3 times, as a Titan, but you also get to, the weapon remains tangible, and you can pick it up and wield it like you can any other wieldable weapon separate from your arsenal.
The Void Titan aspect, I press and hold my grenade button to consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The more damage it takes, the more it charges up, and then I can release that, and it creates this blast that deals massive damage.
Okay, so it's a retaliatory shield.
Arc super.
Arc is all about finding the shortest distance between 2 points. The Hunter kind of rears back, takes this knife and throws it across the world, and then is able to blink to its position, do the slash that just decimates anyone nearby.
One really great thing about that is not just
Okay, so what we got here is basically Noctis's warp strike from Final Fantasy 15. You throw an arc blade, and then you teleport to said blade, and you attack the enemies around you. Another ranged super, probably a one-off super, not a roaming super. Sounds appealing. I would prefer that over the arc staff that it currently has.
do it once, but you're able to do it 3 times, along with devastating attacks each time you do it.
Okay, 3 times.
It has an aspect. We take our staff, we twirl it in the air, which propels us upward. It creates this burst, which amplifies you and any allies near you.
It almost makes it feel like you're playing a fighting game, right? Like these combos that you're chaining together to do these different moves. It like takes that sandbox to the next level.
The more aspects we have, the more capable we are to do that.
It feels like you're like riding the lightning, you know? Like that instantaneous, like...
That was good, but I think it's more like... You know?
I like it, I like it.
Weapons team has been working on all sorts of goodness. We've got
The Void Axe thing looks pretty cool.
We've got perks. We're always cooking up stuff. We're always playing with stuff that we think is like really interesting or taking inspiration. We have Tessellation, which is this exotic pyramid fusion rifle. It has the really intriguing property of adapting your Guardian's current damage type.
This will be the first time that you can run a weapon that can adapt to be strand or stasis in the energy slot. So you'll be able to run an entirely strand or entirely stasis loadout.
That actually would be cool.
Tessellation has the additional property that you can special reload to reshape your grenade and suck it into the weapon, and then fire out a super destructive single projectile. It's a really special weapon.
What's the one specific exotic that I can make that's like...
They said it was fusion rifle, right?
...that you would like right now?
What if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle?
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a moment where we saw that Traveler Beam cutscene. I know people on...
Back the truck up here. The Golden Gun gets a sniper rifle? Excuse me?
Weapons went, I kind of want that. You're like, that is incredibly dope.
That's a trace rifle.
So we've got this opportunity to bring back these iconic Destiny 1 weapons, but
Dragon's Breath!
Something that feels unique in Destiny 2.
We have to bring Kvatstab into the fold.
The Red Death exotic pulse rifle.
Oh my god, the Red Death!
Burn the world, burn it all.
Yes, that was the Dragon's Breath.
Pulse rifle.
And Dragon's Breath. Burn the world, burn it all.
Love the Dragon's Breath
In
in D1.
We have new weapon subfamilies coming, broadening what existing weapons can be.
Please tell me you bring back the Zalo Supercell.
Exotic functionality. So, for example, we've got a rocket pistol sidearm subfamily. We always liked the special ammo sidearms. This fires tiny, slow-moving rockets. They hit very hard, do a bit of AoE damage. They have a mixture of regular weapon and rocket launcher stats. We're also doing a new support weapon subfamily.
The support frame auto rifle is a type of legendary auto rifle. It'll let you switch seamlessly from firing at enemies to healing your allies. I'm really excited to bring it to dungeons and keep my team alive on it.
I bet Bima would love that weapon. You could shoot enemies as well as allies and heal them. That Bima would love the hell out of that.
The weapons team is always coming up with new ideas. We've got a ton of new cool stuff coming over the next few years, and some new and really wild ideas, which we're pretty excited about.
Come on, take a load off. You've got a lot to cover. This place is only big enough for one dashing hero type, and that's me, so... I'm back! Hey, you two, give me a sec. I was magnificent. This is great. Anyone want a hug? Get your rock.
Off my map.
Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't. Well, better get back to it.
In this moment where we're driving to the end of the Light and Darkness saga, it's great to see Cade like return to this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation with the long-standing enemy, the Witness.
Cade is the quintessential hunter. His presence casts such a long shadow over the story of Destiny, whether it was when he was alive or when he was dead.
What Cade goes through in this journey, how he serves as a catalyst for the other characters, the events that are uncovered to have brought him back. This is how the story had to end. There was no end to the Light and Darkness saga that didn't have Cade here alongside his friends to finish the job.
Once we started digging into the nature of the Pale Heart, I think that crystallized Cade's role as a guide. Cade is Virgil, and he's our guide through this other place. Cade is the one who is the most appropriate person to be the guide, because that's his job. That's always been his job. It just feels so natural for Nathan to be back in the booth.
It is Nathan Fillion, I'll be damned.
Just see him slip back into the role, like, without missing a beat.
Right, instantly.
In the flesh, or metal, as it were.
Cade's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora together. Having him back puts them in a position of questioning where they've been and what they've done without him.
You think about the journey that Zavala's been on and how he's been taken down this dark path, and you think about the weight that's been on Ikora, having to hold the Vanguard together, having Cade's voice of levity and brightness that he brings to that group. I think it's going to be great for them.
Well, at least we have each other.
We want people to take away that sense of
Stupid chicken.
and that idea of like the gang being back together for this moment.
I'm here now. Wherever the hell here is.
What the hell kind of gun does he have? What did they do to the Ace of Spades?
Guardian, the Witness poses a dire threat.
That's Eris.
Krim holds the answers we seek, but only if we contend with her sister, Zivu Arath.
Oh yeah, we never defeated Zivu Arath.
With me, will you come back from this? Do not be afraid.
Oh, so now we're firing the... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Back up here. So now we're using the boomers' weapons. The hive boomers. And it spawns a moth. The arc moths.
Let them know fear. The deck of whispers, and they do whisper.
Oh god. Cards.
Fight in my name, Guardian. Every opponent you defeat strengthens me.
A void version of the moth.
For your brutal tributes. Let us show her what it is to be Hive. You have sounded the horn of battle. You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
So that's the next season. Season of the Witch. Leading up to which
Which is our opportunity as players. We've been
Final Shape.
and breaking Hive spells, and now we finally get to cast them.
At the end of Season of the Deep, we learn that Savathun has the key to getting into the portal that we need to go into. That means we have to go find Imaru, her ghost. Imaru's like, not so fast. We've got a bigger problem first. And that bigger problem's name is Zivu Arath. If we fight her, she only gets stronger. Eris has an idea. It's really good. It's a wild ass idea, yeah.
She's very excited about this idea.
Best way to fight fires with fire. We are channeling all of that energy that we're creating by going through, by eliminating enemies, and we're tithing to our friend Eris.
Bring me your tithes.
What does that mean for the characters and the player to kind of like be like Savathun? And that's where we went down the path of having Hive Eris. We want to extend that magical fantasy into the player then. That ability to have overwhelming magical power, that risk and reward into all of our activities and systems experiences. And so that's what led us to come up with things like Deck of Whispers. It's this magical deck of cards that creates amazing synergies with your build-craft meta and with buffs and the activities.
They can then choose these cards at will, whichever ones they want, and then that really leans into the build crafting.
You actually are getting cards that you can then use to place on the battlefield and change the way you play.
I'm such a sucker for deck building. Like being able to like bring that element into Destiny.
So what is this, Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, oh, it's
really
super
fun.
So we've got two brand new seasonal activities coming with Season of the Witch. We've got Altars of Summoning and Savathun Spire.
Savathun Spire is our new 3-player offensive. You're doing a lot more with Lucent Hive magic, but it's got a high amount of combatant density. It's got additional random encounters that you can come across.
The Witch's Spire itself, Savathun Spire, was like her reliquary for all these different magical experiments as she was learning the light. You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun. The Altar of Summonings activity is really exciting because you can spend like 20 minutes in it or you can spend 2 hours in it.
It's a 3-player experience that you can hop in and hop out of. As you're going through this activity, you're filling the tithing bucket. As that tithing bucket is filled up, you'll get progressively more rewards. And then finally at the end, it'll cash out and you'll get a whole mess of rewards.
Well, let's hope it's actually going to be fun and not boring like the other, pretty much every season up to this point.
After the year has passed. And so we developed what we're calling the Exotic Mission Rotator.
Right away, we're getting Presage, Vox Obscura, and Operation Seraph Shield.
This is some of the most fun content the team has making. It's some of the...
I heard about the Rotator, the Exotic Rotator.
The most exciting thing, outside of just the missions themselves, is that every time we put a mission inside of that Rotator, the exotic that comes alongside of it will become craftable. With Season of the Witch, we have a brand new Vex lo-fi PvP map coming. It's really exciting. It's got a bunch of really tight gameplay experiences. We wanted to make sure that we focused the combat a little bit more. With the new Vex network map, we really wanted to make sure we hit is like, hey, you're shoulder to shoulder more often. There's not as much deep sight lines that you're interacting with. And a lot of the flow of the map is actually built around this like kind of central pillar of the Vex network that you're orienting around.
And there's also some modes coming too, right?
We've got a new PvP game mode coming that's all about relics. It's about multiple relics, so it's not just one like the Scorch game mode from the past. So we've got the shield coming from Vault of Glass, we've got the spear back from Season of the Risen.
And we've got the scythe from Season of the Haunted.
Yeah, so you're gonna be reaping Guardians with that thing. It's a lot more tactical gameplay. It's all about running around the map, claiming these relic dispensers, and then grabbing them in order to push for victory.
I will take.
So in short, they've taken the relics from the raids and seasons of the past, and they're making it part of PvP. Okay, that's all I can say about that. Okay.
What I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist.
We were feeling pretty Heidi this season, obviously. There's something in the air. And so when thinking about, like, what's a good raid reprisal that would really suit this very Heidi season, there's only one answer.
Crota. Crota's End is back.
What the Hive call a god.
The second raid ever in the original Destiny, and the first one that you could actually solo. Crota's End. Hey, Kingdom. Welcome in. How you doing? Oh my God! They're bringing back the necrochasm. That's what that one. That's what that one auto rifle was. That was necrochasm. Also a Destiny 1 weapon. We're doing Quake 2, Kingdom. Wait. Begins September 1st. Okay.
Barriers, as well as catch people up on key story beats and make sure that they have a really great and easy time connecting with other players. In the final shape, we're trying to find ways to make power more simple and easy to understand, and also lowering the barrier to entry.
It's going to make it easier for players who have not been able to jump into game easily because they were held back by the challenge.
Is there are going to be a certain number of activities that are going to be power fixed. So it doesn't matter kind of what power level you are going into it, you're always going to be able to approach it. There's still going to be tiers of difficulty that you can do, things that are just meant to be experienced a certain way.
Things like Nightfall strikes that will still have power enabled, and that's where we're really going to focus the whole power climb.
The raids, the contest modes that everybody loves to engage with, that experience is fundamentally going to be staying the same.
I'm excited for this because I think there will be a lot more clarity for players in terms of understanding the relative difficulty of things, where they sit now in the spectrum.
One way that we're trying to do that is making it easier for new players to engage with you. So we're introducing something that we're calling Fire Team Power.
You can actually bring your friends along to play any dungeons and raids in the game without having to wait them to be at a certain power level. The person with the highest power in your fire team is actually going to bring all the others close to their power level, which means that there's no barriers really for any other Guardian to join you in this high level content.
When it's combined with Fire Team Fire.
Okay, so that makes it easier for lower people who maybe are only casual players to be able to play some of the higher content and be relatively, useful because their power level isn't too low. That's convenient. That's convenient. It kind of takes away the grind, but it's the grind that you would need to get there. But if you're more of a casual player who really just wants to experience the raids and spend time with friends and whatnot, but don't want to spend a lot of time playing the game by yourself or whatever, doing repetitive content, that definitely fits for those kind of people. That's for sure. Where'd my mouse go? I lost my mouse. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that looks like it's useful.
Do you guys have the new exotic on?
Actually, not the arms, but I do have the exotic weapon.
Oh yeah, I have both. I have the Tessellation Fusion, and then I got the Moth Reapers. I believe.
The hell is this ship? This is a cool looking ship. Okay, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time watching this. Okay, that's pretty much all I wanted to see. I wanted to see what they were gonna talk about. I wanted to see a little bit of it. I'm impressed by the supers they're going to be adding. I look forward to the Season of the Witch stuff. When did the Season of Witch say was going to release? I saw them bring that up, but I didn't see when it actually was starting. August 22nd. Oh, it's today. Beams. It's today. So I didn't realize that Destiny 2's new season started today, otherwise I would have hold off on Quake. Alright, let's see. Bima's going to join us. All right, let me get my PlayStation turned on, and we'll get this this party started. So yeah, we got a new season of stuff in Destiny. So depending on, I already told my friends I was going to play Quake today. So probably what we'll do is we'll jump into this tomorrow for tomorrow's stream. Depending on how much progress we get. I mean, as you can see, we've got plenty of time: August, September, October, November. So yeah, we got 3 more months of this to get through it. So it's not like we're going to run out of time for Season of the Witch. But it's nice to see the new content's ready to go. I'm intrigued. All right, let me get that ready to go here. Josh, are you ready for some Quake? I sent a message to Bimo to see if she's ready to go. You're in and ready? Okay, sounds good. Let's see if Bimo's going to join us. Damn, it's hot as hell in here. Why can't I adjust my... Give me a sec, gotta do some sound settings. There we go. There we go. Let's turn that down to there. Okay.